Let's give it up for Tunisia because it seems like they were the team that wanted those points the most. Denmark didn't show up. They really didn't. I know saying that might be discrediting Tunisia somewhat, but I have no intention of discrediting Tunisia. I predicted a narrow win for Denmark in this game. I think my prediction was a 1-0 win for Denmark. Let me just go back and check my notes and see. Yep, 1-0. I knew it would be a very, very close game. But if there was any team that was going to win that match today, it was going to be Tunisia. I know Denmark came close on a few occasions, but the performance was a bit flat. They have a lot of work to do. They're coming in very, very cold. Very cold. But we know what Denmark are capable of doing. At the Euros, they started very slowly and they built up steam as the tournament progressed. They will be hoping that that is exactly what happens for them at this World Cup. Their first World Cup after that impressive showing at Euro 2020. And after, they did perform pretty well. But it was Tunisia, the more lively of the two teams, the team that pressed, the team that played with more intent. And even though they will be happy with the point, I think deep down they would feel like they deserve all three. So Jalil Kadri and his boys went out there and they put out a really good performance. Defensively, hardworking in the midfield, and guys like Leiduni took on the Danish defense and kept them very, very honest. Let's take a look at the lineups for both teams. We don't have any goals to talk about, but there was a few chances. There was a big save. Kasper Schmeichel had to make a huge save from that was Jebali with that save. And Leiduni was pretty lively up top as well. Msakni and Slimani and co. They kept the Danish defense on their toes. And Tunisia, I think, put out a very, very good performance. Maybe they were inspired by that Saudi Arabia performance against Argentina without the goals. Keep an eye on this Tunisian team. Let's take a look at the 11. Darman in goal. He had to make a few saves. That Christian Eriksen's shot comes to mind. Denmark didn't have a lot of chances. They did have another chance that was headed across the goal, and I think that was Mikkel Damsgaard that failed to put it in. So Denmark did come very close, but, you know, Tunisia rode their luck and they were able to clear that ball away. So you see Dylan Brown, he's been around for some time. I have to be completely honest. I don't know a lot of the players in this Tunisian team. I know Skiri, Leiduni, Msakni, Ben Slimani. But a lot of the players are very fresh to me because, and that's what gives them that element of surprise as well. They're very hard to study, and you can't go and sit down and say, okay, let's watch some footage of this guy and let's watch a footage of the team and figure it out. Because this is a different team than the team under Manda Kabaya, where under Kabaya, I think they were more defensive, but even though they're still very defensively sound, they pose a threat going forward as well. So I think most of their games in this group will be similar. But with this point, this big fat point that they pick up here, they would fancy their chances of getting 3 against Australia. Remember, they did beat Panama the last World Cup. And they would fancy getting some. If they play like this against France, they get something. But I feel Tunisia are the type of team that could put out a performance like this and still lose, you know, especially in the game against France, because it could have happened against Denmark. We could have seen a Senegal-Netherlands type situation where Senegal held on for most of the game and then lost it very, very late. But this wasn't the case for Tunisia, so they deserve a lot of credit for their game management and just keeping their energy levels very high throughout the match, even though conditions were hot and players were struggling with fatigue and cramp throughout the game. On Off the bench, Hannibal Mejri came on late there. Kinisi and Fayani Sassi as well as Naim Sliti and Ketch Reader. So it's fair to say that the substitutions were very good and they were actually well made by Jalil Kadri. As for Casper Hulman and the Danes, look, you can't say they didn't try. Jesper Lindstrom came off the bench along with Andreas Cornelius, Mikkel Damsgaard, Matthias Jensen, and these players were all injected in the team to provide that impetus going forward because Simon Kjær, the captain, was taken off and Delaney had to go off through injury. Skovholsen and Dolberg were the next other two players to come off. And you worry about this Danish team on where they're going to score their goals. They usually depend on players all around the field to score their goals, even the fullbacks, the midfielders, one or two, from the forwards, the big defenders coming up. I think what they're lacking in this team is a true poacher, a true goal scorer, somebody with killer instinct in the box. And we saw it here today. It was evident. Dolberg, Skovholsen, Nissen, Rasmus Christensen got the nod up right back. Joachim Mæhle, Eriksson, Højbjerg. Højbjerg had a good game. Eriksson had a good game. I think Tunisia kept Eriksson very quiet by pushing him further back in defense because if you allow him to do his thing, from like just outside the box, you're in trouble. You're in definite trouble. But also give some credit to Denmark and their backline, their defensive work. Kasper Schmeichel in goal. They didn't concede, and they would have to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, man, next game, we can't, it's 3 points. It's 3 points, or they pick up one and they stay alive. And Tunisia would have the same mentality as well. We take a look at the stats for this game, guys. Denmark, 11 shots, 5 on target. They bossed the possession, passed the ball around very well, much better than Tunisia did. But Tunisia, they were, defensive. They were making clearances and everything, so you expect their passing stat to drop. Pretty disciplined game, I have to say, in terms of the ref controlling proceedings. There were shouts for a few handballs. Denmark had a shout, and then Tunisia had a shout as well. Tunisia's shout was first. That was definitely not a handball off the body up. The Tunisia handball, I think, could have been given to Denmark late in the match because even though the player didn't know much about the ball hitting him and then hitting, I think he hit his arm that was tucked in, and that's why. It hit his arm that was tucked, and then it hit up on the other arm. So, they survived that shout as well. So I think pretty fair game. Not the most entertaining of games. It's a first 0-0 draw of this World Cup. Look, Tunisia, they did have opportunities, that one shot that tested Schmeichel. And, they will be happy with the point, but I think they would feel like, damn, we could have got more. We could have really got more. So big up to everybody in the house. Appreciate you guys tuning into the stream. What are you guys saying right now? We have Lego Dude saying, I think Tunisia deserved their point. They did well and were defensively very solid. Very well said. So the GOAT is saying, where is Pessi? ¿Dónde está Leo Pessi? Leo Pessi, ¿dónde está? I had to put on my Mexican accent there, man. So you want it again? Do you want it again? ¿Dónde está Leo Pessi? ¿Dónde está? Well, he did get a penalty in the game, but Saudi Arabia, man. Saudi Arabia. Jersey B. Hey, Dom, this is my new account. Big up to you, man. Big up to you. Very happy with this result as a Frenchman. Allez le bleu. And A. Douse in the house. Tunisia is a strong side. Denmark played good, but not good enough. Big up to Air 12 Star, who says, big up to the man, Dom. Thank you very much for tuning in, man. Talk to me, guys. Talk to me. So, look, let's just go back over here. Not much to really talk about. Not much excitement around the result. The Tunisian fans will be happy about the result. Don't get me wrong. But for the Danes, they need something better in their next game. And that segues nicely into talking about the next game, which comes against France this Saturday. In their last 2 games against the French, they have beaten the French. I think it goes back further to about 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. So, look, I could find that out right now. In terms of France, the head-to-head against Denmark lately. And let me just let you guys know that really quick. So France versus Denmark. Yes, their last 3 games have actually, Denmark have gone unbeaten against France. So that's a 2-0 win in the last Nations League game in 2022, June 3rd, a 2-1 win for Denmark. And back in 2018, a 0-0 draw for Denmark at the 2018 World Cup. So, guys, do not write off the Danes picking up another 0-0 draw in their next game. Don't write them off, okay? Don't write them off. The big match for Denmark would be against Australia. It could be a game where Australia need points to go through as well, but it's going to be a massive game because even, let's say, they lose to France, right? They would need 3 points against Australia and need the other results to work in their favor. And Tunisia is also a team that likes to pick up draws. So let's take a look at Tunisia, and their next game is against Australia. So they'll be rubbing their hands. I think they will fancy their chances of beating Australia, but the Aussies would look at this as the easiest match in the group as well. And they would say, hey, maybe we could get 3 points from this one. You see? And let's say Australia gets something against France later today. You never know what will happen. And then Tunisia, France for the final match. They got something like, look, man, this World Cup isn't, we might predict, but it's not easily predictable. It ain't. It ain't. We might attempt to predict things, but then we get results like Saudi Arabia 2, Argentina 1. You see what I'm saying? And we'd be like, ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Hold your brakes, pump the brakes, hold the horses there. You know, but guys, with that being said, make sure you smash the thumbs up button for the stream. We'll definitely appreciate that. You guys know the deal. Like the video. We got 28 people in here to talk about this exciting game between Tunisia and Denmark. It was an entertaining match, to say the least, though. You know what I mean? Fans were kept on their toes, but no goals just didn't go in. So big up to Big John, who says Saudi Arabia will qualify. Look, it's not guaranteed that they will qualify. It ain't. But it was a big win. Even if they don't qualify, they could walk away with pride and probably take Argentina down with them. Dave Valensky, I think that Saudi Arabia beating Argentina is the biggest upset so far. Indeed. Goat, Dom, do you think Poland and Mexico can, you mean beat Argentina? Of course, it's possible. If Saudi Arabia can do it, anybody could do it. But then again, Saudi Arabia play a different style of football than Mexico. Mexico are not going to be overly defensive, and neither will Poland. So I think the win for Saudi Arabia was very, very special. What else are you guys saying about the game right now? This game. Anything else to mention or anything else to add on this game, guys? Please feel free to do so. I'm taking comments right now. Definitely looking into some comments. But with that being said, guys, let's just take a look at the games that's coming up later. We got Mexico-Poland coming up in about 40 plus minutes. I did schedule a watch-along for that, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any watch-alongs, man, because watch-along take up your energy, and you can't do anything else while you're doing a watch-along. You can't multitask, so I'm going to have to cancel the watch-alongs for now. And France versus Australia later. I will be watching that game, but by myself, because I still have a lot of work to do. Tomorrow, early in the morning, while I'm at work, Croatia and Morocco. Croatia versus Morocco. And then at 8, around, I'll be done with my breakfast by then. Germany play Japan. Costa Rica take on Spain at 11. And after I get home from work, Belgium would take on Canada. The plan tomorrow is you won't be getting any videos after the match for these games, right? Neither through the week. So when I get off of work, I'll come home and I'll talk about the 3 games that were finished in the earliest stages of the day, and I'll go live and talk about all 3 games together and then split them up in different videos. And then I'll do the Belgium Canada a little later on in the day as well. And that'll be the same for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and of course Sunday until I'm off again next week. So, a lot of work to do, And the same goes for Denmark and Tunisia. A lot of work to do for those teams as well. The World Cup is keeping us busy, keeping us very honest. So Jamal Griffith, thank you very much for the comment. He says, Tunisia will deliver the curse to France this World Cup. Look, I'm not writing off any team right now. I made predictions because I had to make predictions. I had to talk about things. But once the World Cup starts, you start understanding like, okay, yeah, this is a tournament. Some teams you expect going to do well, they're going to flop. And the teams that you underestimate could make a deep run in the tournament. So Big John is saying France will find a way to deliver the curse to themselves. I like that. Good one. Drop the comments, guys. Drop the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button for the stream. We got over 40 people in the house. If you have any World Cup questions, please feel free to do so. If you have any comments on the Tunisia-Denmark game, please drop it. I will prefer those comments actually on the Tunisia-Denmark game, right? And guys, I have a question for you. How could Tunisia or Denmark improve for their next game? Because they failed to score. What do you think is necessary? Do you think for Tunisia that Wabi Kazri could come into the team and provide some impetus up top? I think he's dealing with some injury or maybe non-selection for now. But, something else needs to be done maybe to get those goals into the back of the net. Maybe Hannibal Mejbri from the start. You see what I mean? Maybe a few more changes. Or you don't really want to change a team too much that actually picked up a good point against Denmark. For the Danes, what could they do? Do they bring in a Yusuf Poulsen or a Martin Braithwaite? Do they start Jesper Lindstrom from the get-go? What could be done? Could the formation be tweaked? Could a Jens Steiger Larsen come on from the beginning? Who knows? But the next game, a point won't be bad, but you're going to put yourself under a lot of pressure to win the final match. And you don't want to put yourself in pressure situations like that at all. You don't want to do that. But I think the Tunisian fans will be happy about this point, though. I definitely think they'll be happy about this point. So we got some comments, man. Big up to Jordan. Big up to Chenchandel Suriname. Big up to you. Big up to Mizu, who says Tunisia and Saudi Arabia are amazing today indeed. Mustafa is saying Tunisia played well. And we have Dom. I have a feeling Morocco beat in Croatia. It's quite possible. It is quite possible. And that would be Morocco, standing up for the Arab nations as well at a World Cup hosted by an Arab nation. So, look, Mizu is saying Tunisia should play their player Kazri. Maybe he isn't fully fit. Maybe that could be the case. And Angel is saying, big up to Angel. Big up to the boy Angel. Thanks for coming through, man. France are quality, and they have the main man Mbappe. The Aussies are getting smashed. Well, look, I predicted a France win. I couldn't bring myself to predict an Australian result. Guys, if you haven't yet checked that video, make sure you go check out the previews. All 8 previews that I did so far from Group A all the way to Groups D. All right, so make sure you go check out all the previews. Even watch over the old ones. I still have 8 previews to do for the games that's coming up on Wednesday and on Thursday. Very difficult task ahead. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. I might actually see if I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll get it done somehow. But I don't know. I guess what I'll do, I'm working on the Croatia Morocco. That comes out. That game starts at 5, so I'll get that one out first, and then get the one for the 8 o'clock game, and do the 2 o'clock game last. You know, I'm thinking about going live for the Canada Belgium preview though. But yesterday I went live for the Australia France preview, and nobody really showed up for that. So I might rethink. I might have to do a rethink on that one. So look, Lego do this saying I think for Tunisia, Hannibal and Khazri should come in and add some attacking threat. Then that not other than that, nothing really could ruin the good defensive structure they have right now. Yep. So let me see. Jamal is saying Tunisia seem reluctant to run at the Danish defense, which is understandable. They'll need to go for it at some point. Big up to Dave, who's saying this Australian team is not gonna win any games. This is the worst Australian team going to a World Cup in the history of Australian soccer. But the thing is, right, they still made the cut. They still qualify. That is the beauty about it. They still qualified. You see what I mean? Because we could criticize the team all we want, but they made it. You see what I mean? And you can't take that away from them at all. They made it. You see? But guys, if you haven't yet smashed the thumbs up button, make sure you do so and keep the comments going. We have about 9 more minutes. We go for half hour, talk about this match, even though we don't have any goals to talk about. We still could discuss a few things, you know what I mean? So Mizu is asking, what do you mean Tunisia defended amazingly? They were great and tackled every chance they got. You know, yeah. So Angel, look, Dom, this isn't one-day cricket. These Aussies are getting smashed. Yeah, if it was cricket, then best believe Australia would be the favorites here. You know what I mean? And that's crazy, though, when you think about it. Australia is so good when it comes to cricket, but yeah, football, the gap is quite huge. It's still competitive, but the gap is quite huge, though. You know? So what else we have? We have predictions for Mexico-Poland. Guys, drop your predictions for the Mexico-Poland game. That game is coming up in about 35 minutes. Drop your predictions in the chat. Flood the chat with your predictions, guys. Just flood the chat with your predictions. Come on. I'll be reading out the predictions for the Mexico-Poland game. My prediction for that match is 2-1 win for Mexico. 2-1 to Mexico. So drop the predictions, guys. So we have Big John saying a 2-2 draw. A 2-2 draw. I'm going with 2-1 for Mexico. Mustafa is saying a win for Mexico as well. Drop the predictions in the chat, guys. We'll definitely appreciate your predictions. Please do so. 3-0 to Poland, says Jordan. Lego Dude is saying a 1-0 to Poland. Jamal, a 2-2. Well, Lego Dude, 1-0 to Mexico. Sorry, Lego Dude. Jamal is saying a 2-2 draw. Guys, I actually have something fun that I want to do really quick, right? I usually check our soccer on Reddit, and I've always wanted to like do this, right? I've always wanted to do this, like go and react to the Reddit posts and everything. I'm gonna take a little time to just look, and we're gonna update ourselves with some of the things that has been happening at the World Cup really quick. And I saved some of these things, and I actually downvoted the things that I wanted to run through, right? So some of the things that has happened so far at the World Cup, guys. Let's make the thing fun, okay? Let's make this a little bigger. We're not going to delve too much into the particulars, but look, situation. Iran players refused to sing the national anthem. They went on to lose the game 6-2. Maybe they should have sang the national anthem. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So there's actually a video here of English fans on the hunt for bear in Qatar, and they ended up in one of the sheikh's palace and cuddled with a lion. So crazy, man, crazy. I'm not going to take a look at that video, but that happened. So there's an article here that Budweiser will give the winning country all the beer prepared for the Qatar 2022 World Cup worth $75 million. It is also expected that the company will sue FIFA for breach of contract. And I think that's crazy, right? Because initially, I think Bear was actually allowed to be at the World Cup because, okay, let's say, for example, right? And something like this happened before in my cricket league, right? Something like this happened. The Islamic people, the Pakistanis, were actually running, they were heavily involved in the cricket, and there was actually a dance of somewhat, like a dinner, and the Pakistanis decided that they weren't going to come because alcohol and everything was being served, but they would contribute their money, and it just messed up the whole league. You see what I mean? So with the alcohol consumption and everything, it's probably sucked for a lot of people who expected to go to the stadium and wanted to drink a beer, drink some liquor, and enjoy the football. But I guess, I don't know. Could you even get alcohol in Qatar? Maybe you have to get it off the black market or something. I don't know. I'm not over there. So there's a situation as well going on with Alex Scott wearing the One Love armband. I don't know why I say armband on BBC One. And that's One Love, of course, to represent, One Love, meaning one love, everybody. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And also England and the other six teams, Belgium, Dutch, the Swiss, Germany, Denmark, and Wales, released a joint statement saying they are no longer they are no longer going to risk wearing the One Love armband. Why I keep saying armbands? Armbands after threats of sporting sanctions for captains. They are frustrated. FIFA ignored their written request to wear it. So look, teams want to use this as a platform to send messages. You see the Iranian team refusing to sing the national anthem. You see England taking a knee. They want to wear the One Love armbands, to say, hey, same-sex love and marriage is okay. And FIFA and Qatar probably saying, no way you're doing that over here. So look, there's also an article how Britain, Zach Cox died working on England's first tournament venue. So someone, maybe an Englishman, actually died working on the stadium that England played in. Also, news: Martin Boyle will miss the World Cup after succumbing to a knee injury. Marco Tilio will come into the squad, and that was 2 days ago. And there's also £175 a night World Cup fan village over in Qatar. Whoever came up with that money is making bank. And look, they also predicted that Andries Noppert will be the first goalkeeper for Netherlands, and he did pop up in the goal, right? For Belgium in their camp, Romelu Lukaku did not recover in time, and he will not make the first 2 Belgium games at the World Cup. There's no certainty he will be fit for the Croatia game either. And that's good for the other teams in the group, right? So, look, fans of Finland and Norway have agreed to hold a minute of silence at the beginning of today's friendly match for the deceased migrant workers who died in Qatar, right? Wales create history as the first ever World Cup press conference was held in Welsh. All right. Tyler Adams was named U.S. men's national team captain for the 2022 World Cup. And big news, England's £115 Qatar World Cup shirts made by Thai factory workers who are paid just £1 an hour. This is a big talking point. These are things that we should be talking about, right? These are things that we should be talking about. These things, okay? And there's a few other things, that we could touch on. But Qatar is the first Arabian country to host the World Cup in what is the 22nd edition of the tournament. This is the second World Cup hosted the nation's soil, with South Korea, Japan in 2002 being the first. Welcome. So let me see what else we have here worth talking about. Let me see. Qatar becomes the first FIFA World Cup host to lose their opening game. Very poor performance. And what else we have here? So, I didn't see the Gianni Infantino interview or the press conference he gave them, but Gary Neville says FIFA President Gianni Infantino, the worst face for the 2022 Qatar World Cup. And there's an article where an Indian man has been arrested after upsetting his football-mad neighbors by tearing up a Portugal flag hoisted for the World Cup when he mistook it for the emblem of a controversial Islamist group. Wow, 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 wow. Anyways, BBC ignores World Cup opening ceremony in favor of Qatar criticism. Oh my God, and England players will take the knee. We touched on that as well. More corruption, guys. The president of Gabon's FA, Pierre-Alain Mungwegwi, was seen in the company of the Emir of Qatar and the president of FIFA in April 2022. He was charged with the cover-up of alleged sexual abuse by coaches on underage kids, but FIFA and CAF had pressured Gabon into releasing him. Corruption, man, corruption. And Iran captain Ahsan Haisafi speaks out in support of Iranian protesters ahead of the World Cup, and we know what happened there, right? We know, we definitely know. So let me see what else we have here. US 1994 was the most attended World Cup in history. Brazil 14 took second place. And I think that's it for now. I think that is it for now. But big up to everybody in the stream, just touching on a lot of updates. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of all of these, and I'm going to fill this section back up with more articles that we could actually talk about when we stream again after a 0-0 match. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. Nah, I'm joking, though. I'm joking. But big up to everybody in the stream, man. Thank you guys for tuning in to yet another one. I'm going to take a little time to breeze off and work on some previews before the Mexico-Poland game, and then, you know, attempt to record a couple previews later and edit them and get them out. It's a lot of work. I have another Red Bull here, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope I don't end up like Kevin Samuels. But this is going to only be for this month, though. Matter of fact, the Red Bull thing is only going to be for this week. Because when we get to the second round games, I could sit in my car if I want, and I could talk about the match because I would have seen the two teams played already, and I would give my verdict on what I think would actually happen. I would write down a few head-to-head things and a few situations, and it will be pretty easy. But the first round of matches are pretty hard to actually cover, I gotta say. So, look, Sir Fluffy, random question, Dominic. Do you think St. Vincent and the Grenadines can qualify in 2026? The question to ask is whether St. Vincent and the Grenadines could ever qualify in our lifetime. No, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. But look, it's not the time for all that stuff. It's time for football. It's if they didn't want to deal with controversy, they should have had the World Cup somewhere else. Good point. Good point. Good point. You know what I mean? Very good point. So, look, man, appreciate you guys actually tuning into yet another live stream. Make sure you smash up the thumbs up button. We got 40 people in here. Not enough of you guys have liked the video so far, right? How many likes we got? Only 13. Come on, guys. Let's get the stream up to at least 25 likes, man. Come on. Smash up the thumbs up button for your boy, for the work that I have been putting in for this World Cup. Don't make me have to beg you. Why do I have to beg you? Come on, man. You guys could do better than that. You could do better than that. You can do better than that. Like up the thing. Okay? Like up the thing. Like it up. 13. We got 17. Guys, we need 8 more thumbs up. 8 more to get to 25 likes. You guys could do this. Big up to Big John who's saying top class work, Dom. This is shaping up to be another World Cup to remember. Indeed, man. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Indeed. Smash up the thumbs up button, guys. Let's get the stream up to at least 25 likes. I know it's not the most exciting and entertaining match that we saw, but you guys could actually do better than that. But anyways, man, enough of that. I'm out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you very much for 51,000 subs. Let's head to 52 before the World Cup ends. And I think I'm going to get back in the groove after the World Cup because I've been going through somewhat of a funk, you know. But look, appreciate you guys again. Like the video if you haven't yet done so. Subscribe if you're new. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. So Angel is saying you could travel with the St. Vincent team as their number one football analyst. Oh man, guys, appreciate it, man. We will talk after the Mexico-Poland game, okay? Make sure to tune back in. Tune back in. Don't wait for the notifications. Check YouTube, see if I'm live. All right? There's content to watch. I'm pretty sure there's content that you haven't seen. Go check them out. Peace.